mennoniterecovery.com from the Mennonite Churches.
America's service members and veterans are strong, forged out of bravery, sacrifice, and duty. Sometimes reaching out for help can be the most challenging and worthwhile mission of all. When you recognize something isn't right, make the call to the Veterans Crisis Line or Military Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Or chat online at veteranscrisisline.net. Or text 838-255.
Talk 1470 WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470 WNN with more of what you need to know. Start your day with the Steve Kane Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470 WNN.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470 WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Shub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Shub, and tonight, like we do always this time of the week, we're going to talk some golf, we're going to talk some travel. We've got some wonderful guests lined up for the show tonight. I'm really excited about the lineup of guests. Just a little bit, we will be talking to a gentleman by the name of Andrew Lynn from a company called LostGolfBalls.com. So if any of you golfers out there have ever lost a golf ball, and I'd have to assume that it's every one of you, and you want to get reintroduced to the ones that you've lost, that this is the guy for you. And hopefully he'll give us a little bit of insight as to how they find these golf balls and how they restore them to good as new quality. It's a pretty cool story, and I've tried them, and I like them, so they work. And then a little bit later in the show, we will be talking with Lawrence Gartell. And Lawrence Gartell is a digital media artist extraordinaire. He is he's known as the father of digital art, actually, and does a lot of work here in South Florida with Art Basel, travels the world, has a really cool golf story to tell us as well. And I can't wait to hear from Lawrence. He's quite the character. But what I typically like to do around this time is first introduce you to my co-host. And, of course, my co-host sitting to my right here is none other than Jess Frank, and he is PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy. He's that guy with that beautiful swing you just heard. His academy is over at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club right down the road here in Boca Raton, Florida. And Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis. He believes every lesson and swing is different. Just likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, those short shots taught on the golf course, which instills confidence. You may know him from his work at area country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Lago, and Broken Sound. Just loves to teach because he has a passion for the game, and you might have noticed that golf can be challenging, but just makes it easy for you to learn and excel. And how are you doing tonight?
I am excellent, Dan. Good evening to you, and good evening to all our listeners out there. And another gorgeous day, and the weather just continues to be some beautiful days out here in sunny South Florida.
This is the time of year that we like to watch the weather report, and whether it's local or even the national weather report, and they usually point to Florida and they say that this is where the best weather in the country is right now.
Yeah. So, and we have a lot of our northern friends coming down and see all those trailers pulling in, which is a great scene. A lot of my students are on those trailers and with their cars, and looking forward to having a really successful season, and great golf out there at many different places, and just this paradise just allows for it.
And of course, and I mean, as I had mentioned, I was checking out those lost golf balls,
Yes.
So I got to play this weekend and I loved it. But I also, I've had an interesting day today too, and I just wanted to touch on it very briefly because, there are some Fridays that are, you just kind of like struggling to get through the week, and then there are other ones that you just pack everything in and kick off the weekend hard.
Right.
And today I had an opportunity to not only come here to the show, which I love to do, and not only go to Labor Finders in the morning where I work, but I had a chance to visit at a charity that is a place that I've been to before, and I just wanted to go back again. We got to donate some things that they needed. It's a place called His House Children's Home, and it's not too far from Dolphins, where they play, Sun Life Stadium, right in that area. And what they do is they take in children that either the state has taken the children away from their parents because the parents were not doing right by the kids. And they also do get some of the children as well internationally, some of these kids that you hear that are at the border and the government doesn't know what to do with them. And, through government channels, they end up here. And they raise these children better than they would be raised in a home.
Pretty amazing.
And it is incredible. They try and get many of them adopted. Unfortunately, sometimes they get reunited with the parents, which isn't always the best thing. But, obviously the government tries to reunite kids with their parents whenever they can.
Right.
But they provide opportunities for these kids like you would just not believe. I was talking to one of the music teachers about some of the music education that these kids get.
Wow.
Unbelievable education. They have opportunities to go to ball games and just do stuff that more affluent children maybe get to do. And these are kids that are coming from a life of literally nothing. Some of the ones that come from Mexico, for instance, they've never owned anything. Stories of like 3-year-old children who are washing their own clothes.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, just amazing. And now the kids that I saw were just so happy and well adjusted. It was just a wonderful thing. So I wanted to just give a shout out to Carolina. She was my little tour guide. She gave us a tour of the facility, and it just was wonderful. And if anybody would like to check it out, their web address is hhch.org, His House Children's Home. And, hey, wherever you live, I mean, whether it's this place or someplace else, find something special to do in the community. And I mean, I felt so great just being down there and helping out. So, it really makes you feel good. And it's good karma. So you'll get up and hit that next tee shot right down the middle. So a little karma never hurts anybody. So anyway, so that was part of my day today. So now it's time to get into part of your day today.
Oh, yes,
So let's talk a little bit of golf. And in this beautiful weather, you're out there at the practice tee and got some of your students out there. And something must have happened today that's worth repeating. Right?
And just so grateful to be able to do what I do and be out in this with great people and come here to do the show and just tell everybody a few pointers that might be able to help their game when they go out this weekend. And so one of the things that I do in my lessons is I try to make practice and my lesson as similar to playing as possible. And so what I always want to do with somebody who is struggling with their game or just starting with the game or even a better player is get them on the putting green first and to start with short putts, because the key to golf is golf is a distance and direction game. So there's two things that affect distance and direction: the path of which the club comes and goes in your swing, and the club face and how it's angled at attack at impact. And so when I start with putting, it's very easy to see because it's the smallest swing in your bag. You're only you make a short little stroke, and you can see the path.
It's easy for you to say. Yeah. I take a bigger stroke with my broomstick.
Well, I'm talking like I start with
a normal putter,
like a foot away from the hole. And what you can do is you can literally see how the club face is square at impact instead of when you're swinging a driver, you're swinging at almost 100 miles an hour, let's say. Very difficult to see the club face when you're swinging. You just see the result as the ball comes off the face, which hopefully is good. But
and then the groan that you have afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. But what you're doing is you're educating your hands when you're putting, because now you can see how you can feel the putter, the ball come off the putter face, how solid it is, what direction it starts in, and so if you keep missing the ball to the right, the putter face is open, and so you can correct it with your hands or maybe your setup. You can get yourself aligned properly. And so what I do is I have people start with, like, let's say a foot putt and then move back to about 3 feet, hit about 5-10 putts from about 3 feet, move back to 10 feet, same thing, 5-10 putts from 10 feet. And just making sure that I'll put them in, I'll take 2 alignment sticks, I'll make like a tunnel for their putter head so they can see how the ball starts nice and straight and how the putter face is square. and they keep making consistent contact, which results in success and a lot of positive, I would say, deposits into the mental bank account. Mm-hmm. And so the more they do that, the more they feel good about their game, and they're like, oh, I can actually
mojo, you gotta get going.
Exactly. And so that's what gets them going. So then we move all the way back to 30 feet, and then I'll do 50 feet, because then that plays right into chipping. And so we'll go just off the green, and we'll make some short, from about 10 yards away, make some short chip shots. I'll give them either a pitching wedge or 9-iron or 7-iron, and I'll just have them make short little chip shots. And so, again, feeling a little forward lean in the shaft, a little downward strike, solid contact, and making sure the face is square at impact. And so they can see that with little chip shots. And so we'll do chip shots around the green for about 10 minutes. See good results.
Ka-ching.
Exactly. So hopefully see the ball go in the hole.
A little more positivity in the bank there.
Yeah. I'll put my tour sticks around give it like a 6-foot area for somebody to chip into, and so they don't have to worry about trying to get it in the hole, but they're getting it within 3 to 6 feet. And so what we do is we chip, and it's amazing what happens. All of a sudden they just chip 10 into this little circle. And so from there, we'll move back to pitching. And so pitching's a little bit longer stroke. The difference between chipping and pitching is the ball is in the air for a very short time. The ball's on the ground for a much longer time in chipping. And it's also a shorter stroke. And so pitching, you have maximum air time, minimum ground time.
Can I ask a quick question about the chipping? You had mentioned like a 7-iron, a pitching wedge, whatever. And I know some instructors who teach the short game actually encourage you to go even down to like a 6 or a 5-iron, which is scary for a lot of players because, if you make too good contact, then the ball takes off and it's gone. But a lot of them, from what I've understood, it was always the least loft that you're comfortable with for chipping sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I have people chip with hybrids,
Well, I like to do that, obviously. But then again, I'll hit those kinds of clubs anywhere, including on the putting green sometimes. But that's a whole nother story. But I mean, is that just a different philosophy as far as different instructors go as to whether they kind of recommend that you go as low of an iron as possible or not? Or
I mean, I've been around some pretty good instructors, and we'll go all the way down to a 6-iron. I haven't really. I mean, I'm sure you can chip with any club in your bag. I mean, you chip with a driver.
It's just a matter of how hard you hit it.
Exactly.
If you have less loft, you could hit it less hard, right?
Exactly. And it actually chipping with like a 5 or 6-iron right off the green is pretty cool, because all you need is just a short little stroke and the ball pops off the face.
Just to get it over that tiny
exactly. And that ball rolls out, so it's more like a putt. So yes, chipping with a less lofted club will help you get the ball on the ground sooner. But again, just making sure the face is square and seeing where the ball starts. And so if you can do that with
sounds so simple, but it isn't.
No. Most people, I help them with their little chip swings, and all of a sudden it turns into a full swing. I'm like, whoa. So I have to, kind of get beside them.
You're stoking the engine there before you know it, they're all revved up.
Yeah, exactly. But it really, I mean, they work on their posture, they work on their setup, they work on their alignment without even thinking about it, because you're aligning them with the tour sticks or the shafts or whatever it is on the ground. And so they're doing about 10 different things, not thinking about it. And that's how you have to play golf. You have to play golf as reaction sport. You can't play it as, I got to take the club back to here, and then I got to hinge it, and then I got to turn, and then I got to do this, and I got to do that.
Really? Because I know what I'm doing wrong.
Because from the backswing all the way through to the finish, the golf swing happens in a clap of the hand. So, I mean, it just, boom, it happens, and it, you can't think about 10 different things. And so when you practice kind of how you play, it becomes more ingrained. And it also it stops all the millions of thoughts that go on with like you're like taking an airplane off the ground, So it's just one of those things where you want to play, you want to practice like you play, and you want to play, just not thinking and just reacting. It doesn't. A baseball player isn't going to think about putting their right elbow up and then this and then that and then trying to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It ain't going to happen. You're not going to make it to the Hall of Fame. So in golf, you try to treat it the same way. But if you start with the simple short strokes with the putter and just see the blade square, and then you can work on those little nuances of having the shaft lean. If you're a right-handed golfer, it's lean towards your left leg. And so, you see the contact, you see the ball rolling, you feel how solid it is, and then you work your way into chipping, and then the pitching and the longer swings where you're almost swinging where you're swinging the club from an L to L position. So if you're a right-handed golfer, your left arm and the club form an L on the backswing, and then same thing, right arm club.
You make it sound so easy.
Yeah. Just that and a few days of practice. But anybody who does that can learn and improve their games pretty quickly. And so that's what I like to see. And they're like, wow. I just had a lady out on the course the other day. She's like, I went to play a couple weeks ago and I couldn't even touch the ball, and I've almost chipped in 3 times today. I said, well, that's, you come to the right spot. So.
There you go. It's all who you get your lessons from. That's
right.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is another good tip, I think, besides your instructional tip.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to get it in the cup like that,
yes.
You also need to have the right equipment. So
Absolutely.
I think we're going to find out a little bit about how you could play the right golf ball and maybe pay less than half the price of what some people are paying for those balls. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our first guest, and that will be Andrew Lynn of LostGolfBalls.com, and you won't want to miss it. So stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show. We'll be right back. And we are back, and it's time for a message from one of our favorite sponsors. I know one of your favorite sponsors.
Yeah.
Why don't you take the honors?
Absolutely, and somewhere I spend a lot of my time in the home of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club, where it's a great place to play. And it's located in Boca Raton with a par 72 championship course and a par 3 executive course. It's something for all skill levels. There's also a lighted driving range with practice areas and a snack shop open till 10 p.m. It's a great place to host a charity golf event or a golf outing with a full-service catering facility with all banquet rooms overlooking the golf course. It's a perfect place for weddings, bar mitzvahs, anniversary parties, and any other catered events you may need. In fact, there was a beautiful wedding going on today with the weather. It was gorgeous. So if you're looking to get into the game of golf, there are several teaching pros available for private or group lessons. Their friendly staff invites you to come see for yourself. So call the Pro Shop at 561-451-1600 extension 102. For more information and tee times, you can also visit their website at bocadunes.com. That's bocadunes.com.
It's a cool song.
There are balls you bounce and balls you roll, and some that you kick and catch, and others that you throw real hard and hit with a baseball bat. They're all around on the ground and in the air. Balls, balls, balls everywhere.
And we are back.
Goodness.
And
you have some sense of humor, don't you,
I
Danny?
guess so, but it's true. I mean, you could cry about your lost golf balls, you could laugh about them, or you can get back and not pay full price anymore,
yeah,
right?
No, exactly. I think our next guest definitely has the plan for it.
I hope so, and I got to say, as I mentioned to you earlier, I did get a chance to go out and play. I hadn't played in a couple of months due to the surgery that I had, so I went out there and I took a couple of these golf balls from LostGolfBalls.com, and I didn't see any difference. They weren't just the same as new. So I would never recommend or have a guest on for a product I can't endorse. So to find out a little bit more about how they find them, why they're so good, and how much money you can save, we're going to go to the expert, and that would be Andrew Lynn of LostGolfBalls.com. Andrew, are you with us?
I am.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure, and we're fortunate, myself and Jess here, that we're in the business, and occasionally we do get the privilege of sampling a couple of products out there. But golf is an expensive sport, and golf balls, I guess, are one of the biggest problems when it comes to the expense of the sport. So you guys have a solution, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what's been going on with the golf ball industry, the changes to the balls, and how it is that you find these, and why it's such an attractive option. There's a lot of questions, but you can start at the beginning.
Sorry?
I said it's a lot of questions, but you can start at the beginning.
Yeah, so Lost Golf Balls started a little over 20 years ago with an idea between a couple college students that actually played on a golf team together. And this was about the time where golf balls were starting to change. The beginning of the 90s, they were starting to move to different cores, and the exteriors of the balls were starting to become more resilient to wear and tear. So using a golf ball more than once was becoming you could do it. So around that time was when they started to kind of get together and collect golf balls and work with golf courses, and it kind of really grew from a small garage kind of company where you would just wash golf balls in a washing machine and make a lot of noise and probably anger a lot of neighbors to where it is now, where we work with over 2,400 golf courses in the United States and 45 states, and we about sell between 40 to 50 million golf balls, recycled golf balls every year.
Wow. Just the thought of the fact that you're just one player in this business, the thought of how many golf balls golfers buy and lose is just incredible. I just don't get it.
I mean, you get golf balls, they lose a lot of golf balls, and we find most of those golf balls. So, it's as long as golfers can't figure the game out, we're going to be in business.
So Jess, you're the arch enemy of this guy, Andrew. You're trying to teach him to not lose. It doesn't
matter. I give him all the lessons I can. They're still going to hit him in the lake once in a while. So.
I guess so. Now, I was hoping that you could give me at least one really good story about how difficult or some of the obstacles that you face when the guys go into these lakes to try and find golf balls, especially places like Florida or Louisiana where you've got alligators and you got water moccasins. And I mean, what kind of guy does this work, and what are the dangers and what are the stories that may happen?
Sure, yeah. So we contract all of our work out to professional divers. These are guys who've been diving for years and years and years, and part of what they do is dive for golf balls. So, they've seen everything. Of course, if you go down to Louisiana and Florida, you're always going to run into those alligators and whatnot, and they've had experience with it, and I'm sure there's been some injuries. The more interesting things are what you actually find in these lakes and ponds and hazards at golf courses.
You got to tell us. I can't imagine what you might find besides golf balls.
Well, there's always going to be the random golf cart that some guy who had maybe too much to drink drives it in there, and we have to go out and get it back out with their golf clubs in it. But what we found everything from golf clubs to guns to I guess the most interesting thing we've ever found was a car that still had the driver.
Oh my God! So you haven't found Jimmy Hoffa yet, though.
We keep looking and haven't found him.
All right. Well, you got to let us know. We'll have you back on the show when you do. Okay.
Okay.
So now these divers go out there and they grab all these golf balls and they ship them back to you. So tell us a little bit more about the kinds of golf balls and how you grade them and how you make sure that the people are getting what it is that they expect that they're getting, so that your clients are satisfied.
So we get in, our warehouse holds about 15 to 20 million golf balls at one time. And golf balls are coming in and out all the time. But when they come in, they get counted and they go straight to our cleaning machines. And there's about 5 of these giant ball washers. And usually a lot of golf courses have a very small ball washer. So think of that times 20 and then times 5. So they're just these giant ball washing machines. It takes about a whole day for them to go through and get clean, and then sometimes they'll go through there again. They use a very light solution. It's nothing too harsh. And once they get done there, they get actually out onto our sorting table, and we can sort about, I think, roughly 150 to 200,000 golf balls a day we can sort. And we sort them by manufacturer. We sort them by grade. And that's kind of where it kind of starts to break out into where you can find on our website. And just about every ball we break out into different manufacturers. So TaylorMade, Callaway, Nike, Pro V1, Srixon, Bridgestone, all of those are broken out.
And Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of that testing that you did, which obviously caught my eye. I mean, this industry, it's not brand new. I mean, it's been around, but I just never tried a rewash ball. I never felt the need, but I always was concerned that maybe they don't perform the same. But you actually did some pretty rigorous testing, right?
We did. We hired a company down in San Diego that had one of those Iron Byron machines that everyone uses for testing new equipment and testing golf balls on. And they did a 3-day test with new actually a couple of different brands, but for example, they used a brand new Titleist Pro V1 and then one of our 5A first quality golf balls and one of our 4A second quality golf balls and one of our 3A golf balls. And kind of compared them all together. They hit them with a driver, they hit them with an iron in different conditions. And what the results said was a new golf ball, a 5A golf ball, and a 4A golf ball all travel about the same distance. And there may be 0.1, 0.05 distance, but it's really hard to distinguish that. And so that's really where it kind of becomes confusing on why would you buy a new golf ball when a 5A recycled golf ball can give you the same performance.
And just out of curiosity, the 5A golf ball, what is the approximate discount versus buying it new versus buying it from you guys?
It's about 50%, and sometimes more. I always kind of relate to the Pro V1 because it's the most popular golf ball. Everybody kind of relate to that price, and most people have purchased them before. But a brand new Pro V1 is about $46 to $48 a dozen, somewhere around there, and we sell them for $23.99.
Andrew, you're also helping golfers' mental games too, because you find that when somebody pulls out a brand new Pro V that cost them $5 and they're on a water hole, what do you think they do? They put that ball back.
Yeah, please don't go in the water. Please don't go in the water. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, they're praying the ball doesn't go in the water. Of course, it goes in the water. But when they find a ball that's been slightly used, or they
play for 18 holes and don't lose it.
They don't even think about it because they're not worried about losing it. So you're doing a service for the golfers' mental challenges they have. So. And we know we all have those.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. Now, and how about the shipping? I mean, I always thought that shipping golf balls would be a little price prohibitive, but I guess you figured that out too?
We have. Shipping golf balls, golf balls are weird to ship. They're dense, they're small, they're heavy, so they don't ship like a shirt or pants or anything like that. So they do ship. Usually you'll have to order a decent amount. You can order a dozen golf balls off of our site, and there's a flat rate shipping for that. But we do offer free shipping on all orders over $99. So you definitely save a lot of money, especially shipping wise, when you order more than $99 in golf balls.
Well, free is always the right price as far as I'm concerned, so that's not so bad. Now, I'm assuming that this time of year, perhaps things get a little bit busier for you guys around the holidays?
Yeah, it starts to pick up a little bit around the holidays. We do have holiday combos that are gifts that are like a 50 ball bucket with some accessories and keys and gloves. Great gifts for dad, great gifts for boss, great gifts for your son. We have all of that available.
So, I always like to tell my listeners or other people, I do a lot of my shopping online these days, just having to go to the mall and deal with the traffic and the parking and all that other stuff. If you could find a place where you could just go online and find something for that hard to buy for, person for the holidays, it's certainly a blessing. So why don't you, in your words, tell everybody what they need to do to find some good deals for golf balls from your company?
It's very easy. You just need to go to lostgolfballs.com, and you can find just about any golf ball that you've played in the past or any golf ball that you're looking to play. And you can buy it for yourself. You can buy it for your friends. You can buy it for your family. And you can ship it directly to your house and free shipping over $99.
And save at least 50% over new. So there you go. Sounds like a plan to me. Well, like I say, I regret the fact that it took me so long to discover this product and hear from you guys. And I'm glad that you're doing such a great service for the golfers, saving them money and helping them with their mental anguish. So, and thanks for coming on the show and explaining it to all of our listeners, Andrew. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Hey, you take care.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, what we're going to do is I think we're going to take one more break, and in a couple of minutes we're going to be back, and we'll be talking to our next guest, the father of digital media art, and that would be Lawrence Gartell. So you're not going to want to miss that. So stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show. We'll be right back.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!